To the Manstream Podcast. I'm Ryan. We got Josh, Kyle back in the house again, and Magic Mike coming to you from lovely Bellevue, Iowa. Sorry about your speakers, folks.
No, I've never heard that one. I like it.
Yeah, I like to get jacked up. We tried it a while ago. It just didn't work. Kyle, can you hear me?
Huh?
Yep. All I see is that little yellow bar on the TV going way to the red.
If it hits the red, you're fucked.
Yeah. Don't worry. Stereos are cheap. That's fine.
Hearing is not.
Welcome to another recorded episode of the Manstream Podcast. Not live, just chilling, hanging out in the basement. We're going to get into some conspiracy theories again. Part two. Part Dukes.
Womp, womp, womp.
We traded Mike Olson out for the much better looking, sometimes wants to be smarter than Kyle.
A fifth grader.
Kyle.
It's not hard.
No, it's always
Well,
good to have.
hey, you know what? He said better looking, so you can't.
I have been told I have a radio face.
Oh, you do?
You have a
Face
voice for
radio.
radio.
Who told you that?
No,
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
radio face.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Interesting.
Face radio.
Yeah, because you don't see it.
That's
Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Well, okay. I was making sure.
I wasn't sure.
I get it, guys.
And then we'll
I've
wrap
not been
things
told
up
that.
with another exciting Manstream podcast draft that I'm hoping to win again.
Hey,
You never know.
when you build this shelf in here, your trophies are going to be lined around it.
No, I'm going to build a shelf and we're going to hang a whiteboard and just keep tally marks.
Tally mark, and we're gonna put up our trophy from winning the awards.
Tally mark.
Yeah, there you go.
Our, the awards you just talked about, Iowa Podcast Awards coming up in a couple
September
days,
15th.
September 15th.
Yeah.
We're nominated for a couple awards. Probably not any more time to vote. That closed on the 10th. We're ahead of the 10th now, but by the time you see this, it'll be over.
Yep.
Hell, the award show might be over. So thanks for your support.
Yeah.
Check this out.
We'll have a shelf, or we won't.
Insert award here.
We'll try to superimpose that, Ryan. Yeah.
This is the Manstream Podcast, voted the #1 podcast in Iowa. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yay, round of applause.
Hey, we had a button for that, but our button guy's gone.
Let's wheel this into existence.
Yeah. We're willing it. No, let's jump into part 2. I would ask how everybody's day was, but everybody already knows how everybody's day
Yeah, we
and
did
week
that.
was.
We're doing good.
We did that in go back an episode or two, you'll see it. We're in the same exact clothes.
Yeah.
No, let's jump into part 2 of the conspiracy theories. We're getting into some pretty good little fun rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Touched on some good stuff. Kyle, you weren't here for it, so I want to pick on you first.
Okay.
Throw us out a conspiracy theory that you like to follow or that you have heard about, and let's pick it apart a little bit.
Okay. Question before we start that. I'm not a leader here. I'm a follower.
Okay.
Do we need to talk about vans before we get started?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
We're good.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
We'll plug it.
Pop it up.
They're
Van,
just
what
vans.
conspiracy is that?
Vans?
The conspiracy that they'll match any
The
price
van?
if
Is
you
that
take it
along?
to them?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing as like along with like
We're kicking feet up on this one.
The
I like
pizza.
this.
The pizza.
Oh, I can't
what's
reach.
what's the Pizza Gate? You guys know what
Obviously,
Pizza Gate is?
Pizzagate.
My foot's too
Yeah,
big.
that's the
It's covered in
conspiracy
rhino.
theorist too. That like right. That like I don't really want to say her name because she's a dangerous person. But she's about,
Aunt
Hillary
Jemima?
Clinton?
yeah. Allegedly. You guys know about that?
Putting
No.
our feet up. I'm
I mean,
taking my shoes off.
I only know
Let's
it's
get
a
going.
little
No,
bit about
no. Put those back on.
They don't stink, I don't think.
No, they're brand new. We talked about it.
The feet are not brand new.
Got black socks on.
All right, so let's hear this pizza conspiracy.
Maybe they do.
Oh, I don't really know much about it. I just
Oh,
know
okay.
that like that's where they that's where they traffic people.
That was actually perfect. I thought that was a noise that you were making on there.
So they traffic. Is this the Wayfair thing?
I've heard the Wayfair thing,
Like where they're
Kinda
selling
same
like
where there's like
Yeah.
an armoire on
With
there
a
that
kid
looks
in
like
it?
a hunk of junk,
With
but
a
it's like $8,000.
yeah.
And it comes with a kid.
Yeah. I hope that's
Something
not true.
like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Any conspiracy theories,
Yeah,
or
what
did
jump
you want
out?
to comment
Like, what's
on
your
the part
favorite?
one? Because you were in on the chat.
I was in on the chat. Yeah, I'll say this. I'm like very can respect conspiracy theories, but I'm like very much like I just take the world for what it is. And like what you see is what you get.
I think that's what a lot.
So you're
of
not
people
curious to what you can't see or hear or look at?
I mean,
Because eventually those things
They matter.
You might be able to see them things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's certain things that I'm like interested in, but not like I don't know until I have. I'm very like proof. Like show me.
Yeah. You're very analytical, scientific. You got to see the hard data. You got to see it, feel it, touch it, taste it.
Or just like
So how do you believe the world was created?
How do I believe the world was created?
Yeah.
I'm a Big Bang guy.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
You think all this was an accident from an explosion? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to beat you up or tell you you're
No,
wrong.
I think yeah. I mean, I don't know if accident. I don't think. I will say this. I'm a firm believer that like a lot of things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So whatever I don't know what power that is. I don't necessarily want to like say it's like God that decided to throw these two balls together, but like I definitely think like things happen for a reason or like work out the way they're supposed to. So
let me ask you this. We've been through cycles on this earth, hundreds of thousands of years. Who knows how old it truly is. Immaculate conception. Do you believe in evolution?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So believe in evolution.
We got a bunch of guitar players in here.
So there was one that I was actually like, I really, after our show, I dove hard into the flat Earth shit, trying to give you guys some videos and stuff. And
trying to prove
it wasn't. I wasn't trying to prove anything. I was just trying to give you like the research that I went through, to like watch stuff to understand a little bit better. Because I know you guys were all kind of confused about like the ice wall and like what I was saying beyond it, and I just wanted to give you those videos so you could watch them. But the one thing with evolution that I feel like we're getting more hard data on is that there's evidence now that humans lived with dinosaurs, and there's a petrified piece of wood that also had mud on it that had a claw print that was like from a pterodactyl,
huge,
and it was huge. Underneath of it was a human footprint, and what I say human, not today what we are Homo sapien, but it had more spread out toes, like somebody who didn't wear shoes would have, and it was a human foot, and I think they said it was like a size 10, and it was underneath of this pterodactyl footprint.
So he had walked, she had walked there
before, and the pterodactyl had pushed mud over top of the existing footprint of the human, or whatever they wanted to call it, and they dated that to 100 million years. What? So again, who knows if that's dated correctly, if the science behind it did it, but like, do you really believe 100 million years ago there were humans on this earth?
I could
with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I can believe that.
What do we know?
I
like to believe in like reincarnation. I just think like we just forever circling into something, even if we like
come back as a dog or a cat,
rot out of our caskets, and we get into the soil and mushrooms grow up, and then the mushrooms turn into food, and who knows? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But I'd like to believe in that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I like there's a country song on right now that's like how do you know when you die? Like is it just like you're frozen in like a good moment like forever?
Yeah.
Or like how do like
I think it depends what you believe in.
Yeah. Like how do you know when you die? Cuz like to me my life's pretty good right now. I'm not going to complain about anything. Yeah. Maybe I'm dead. Maybe I'm on the side of a road somewhere.
They actually so studies have shown that they've done this. Brain activity will go on for 5 minutes after you're actual dead, and so like
euphoria or something,
your
right?
last 5 minutes before like you're completely gone is recycling all the great memories of your life. It's like your greatest hits album, and that's the last 5 minutes before that brain shuts down.
You got a hard 5 out on this guy.
Yeah,
we need a hard 5.
You got a hard 5, and
you're not getting any more seconds, pal.
I truly believe that. I think that if you can see that scientifically and the evidence is there, you've got a hard 5 minutes before you're gone, and then who knows what happens if you're a faith person, you go to heaven, you're not. What do you do? Yeah. So.
Yeah, get reincarnated.
I guess we'll all wait to see what happens. Yeah. We'll never know until we hit it, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a religious person. I believe in that God created the earth, God created Adam and Eve, and all that stuff. That's That's what I grew up on. That's what I believe in my faith. I enjoyed delving into the other possibilities and knowing about those things. And I'm a big, like, I'm not a pusher.
Yeah. Believe what you want to believe.
You believe what you want to believe.
For sure.
Because from what I believe, there's one person, according to my Christianity belief, that can tell you whether you're wrong or not. And it's definitely not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed, man.
you know, if I'm right and you guys are wrong, and if you're standing at the pearly gates and he's like, you guys were wrong.
I'll see you there. I got this
I'm like,
one
well,
guy
I'll
that
be
need
like,
to come
hey,
with
just-
me.
Can you let him in anyway? We got a great podcast
Yeah,
for up
we're
here.
gonna we're gonna throw up the stingers,
Stingers.
and he's getting in.
The Mainstream Podcast with a halo.
Wherever we're at, you can get in.
Yeah.
In my book.
But
I'll say this though, just like not to go too much into religion because that gets down a rabbit hole really fast. I will say this though, not everybody can't be right. Right? When it comes to what's
or
next,
maybe
like,
you are. Maybe that's the best part of it. Maybe you are right.
maybe it's like a multiple
Well, you truly
choice.
put your faith in your whole life. That's what you become.
It's a red pill,
But if you
red
say-
pill, blue pill.
Yeah.
The
But if you
Matrix.
say like
The Matrix.
But if you say like there's just one person, right, and it's God,
Yeah.
and if you aren't fitting into that narrative of just one ultimate God, do you think he is smitten? I don't know. Like, do you think he's a big enough jerk, right? We'll go with more layman's terms here, to be like, you chose wrong in your life, so you can't come in here. Like,
no,
I
it's
just big believer-
stated that you will get forgiveness if you truly mean it and you truly
if you
ask
seek
for
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go for it and you ask
So
for it and you're
I think
genuine
if
in
you're
it.
there and you're getting in or not, you're gonna make a decision whether you make it or not, and God will probably decide then. I don't know.
But
like
at the,
I said,
at
I
the
wanna
end of the
believe in
day, like,
reincarnation.
you look at the stories of the Bible, like go old school Old Testament, like it's all fire and brimstone, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Babel, like people just committing sins left and right.
Right.
It's crazy. It's so God comes in and just destroys it all and starts over. The flood, he floods and kills everybody except for Noah and his family and the animals and resets
I think it's
everything.
cool if you actually like that. I guess that could be a conspiracy.
But
theory, right?
but I think at the same time, at the end of the day, if it's not my call to decide who goes where or who does what.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to sit here and say, you don't believe in God, you'll never get into heaven, because that's not my
That's
gig.
not your decision.
You know,
too.
I'm not going to tell you that, and I never will.
We all think like movies have a good inclination. Where do these stories come from? Like who thought these up? At some point somebody had to experience it. There was a really good movie, I want to say late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember the male actor's name, but Meryl Streep was in it, and it was called Defending Your Life. And he was a bigwig lawyer, something like that he was just always on the run, and he got creamed by a bus in his brand new BMW. And he was pissed off that his new BMW didn't have a CD player in it, and he went up to heaven, and basically he had we're going to call it a court-appointed liaison that like walked him through the next 7 days. And what would happen is that he would go in and he would review poignant times of his life when he was a kid. Maybe he handled something incorrectly where his parents scolded him or some shit like that. But while he was up there, he was basically reliving every key moment or key point of his life. And he had to defend himself against it.
Oh my God, what's it called?
It was called Defending Your Life.
Defending Your Life.
It's
Wow.
a
My
really
wife
good
will
movie.
love
Seems like
that.
a good one.
But it's kind of a comedy, but it's also I want to say it's a rom-com because him and Meryl like get together in the movie. I don't think they do that, but at the end of it, I'm not going to spoil it, but like at the end of it, basically you go through and there's like malls and cineplexes and stuff where you can see shit. There's like this one place where it said, if you stand on this pad, it'll show you your previous lives and who you were, what you were. And then you think back and like oh shit, yeah, I do have this trait, or I have this that I brought with me from a reincarnated life or whatever it may be. And it was pretty cool to see this. And like, it's still one of those movies you hardly see on TV, but when I see it on, I catch it. I love watching it. I'm hoping that is exactly what it is like.
That would be tight.
Is that, maybe you're in a life or death situation and you have to go defend your life, whether or not you are able to come back to Earth and try to correct it, try to be better, try to learn from your mistakes. I hope that's what it's like, but it definitely points towards heaven.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. So Kyle, what would be your number one conspiracy that you would want to talk about, or one that interests you the most?
Oh, I don't know. I would say one I think there could be some legit truth behind is like like the Freemasons, Illuminati. You guys kind of touched on that a little bit last.
Oh yeah,
last
Yeah,
week.
we didn't get to dive deep into it, but that's
No.
that's
But, like,
Go ahead.
I don't know if I necessarily believe that there's like the Illuminati is more, and I could be wrong on this, but my understanding of Illuminati is there's more of like this group of people that control everything, right? Like
The
they
Denver
control.
Airport.
Yeah. So like.
Yeah, we didn't get into it, but that's like their headquarters.
Their headquarters supposedly. So
Supposedly.
like I don't know if
all
I would
sound
say
really
I don't know if I
stupid.
would say that like they control everything, but I think there's a group of people that have knowledge of everything. I don't necessarily know that they step in and do things with that knowledge, but I think like they kind of know, like kind of like the CIA knows, like if there's.
Why would they have to know though if they don't have anything to do with it? Like just random people are like, hey, just so you...
I mean, just because I know something doesn't mean I do anything with it. Like I know the Pythagorean theorem. It doesn't mean I ever use it.
Do you know it?
Yeah, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, ask me to do math. I can't do it. I know what it is.
What do you use the Pythagorean theorem for?
I could figure out how to chip over that tree with my iron. If your
ladder's this tall, leaning against your wall, at this
I'm
angle.
thinking a whole 8. Like I gotta get over those trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason I
think
bring
I
that
can
up
do
is I
that.
literally saw a TikTok like today
Yeah.
that some guy used that during like the U.S. Open or something like that.
Yeah, well,
But I guess I don't know. I don't know what the point of them knowing it is, but I do believe that there's like
I think
a lot of it's for like kind of like a national treasure, like preserving like history. I think there's like a aspect of that to it.
So I mean, there's groups out there. I mean, the Freemasons are a true group. I mean, you can become a Grand Master. You can be a Freemason. My grandfather was a Freemason. You know, he wasn't a Grand Master by any means, but like it's basically, you know, more so of like, I mean, our country was founded on religion. It's heavily based on religion, whether you agree or not agree. And a lot of the Freemasons were there to save the freedoms of the people. You know, but again, it's kind of like the Knights of Columbus, you know, Catholic organization,
Right.
and it's there to save and nurture the Catholic religion and trying to bring it to fruition again in this next generation of kids. So, you know, I understand it. The Illuminati to me was more so of a scientific background, and my understanding from the Illuminati, it's not any Italian based, you know, whatever you want to see in what is it, the Da Vinci Code?
Denver.
I know, but is it the Da Vinci Code that they talk
Yeah.
about that, or one of those movies? I can't remember what it's called.
It's the Da Vinci Code.
But the Freemasons, or not the Freemasons, but the Illuminati were groups of scientists, and basically back then, like all the, I can't remember the name. It's not not an oligarchy or anything like that, but whoever is like in power, and the church wanted to kind of keep down the teachings of science so that they could control science. So it was like the Illuminati basically were a secret society of scientists and doctors that wanted to have free thinking and free teachings that were available that weren't overseen or pushed onto people by government or by religion. And that's really what the Illuminati were for in the beginning. It was a true organization in like the 18th century. So whether or not that's still in existence today or not, but that's kind of what the Illuminati were about.
huh?
Well, and do you so like you say the Freemasons were, or the Illuminati was to push science and protect the science side of things.
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff like that. So fast forward to our modern time here, maybe you lose that a little bit, and now you have like people in places of power where you can tug certain strings. Because we said it last time, and I'll say it again. I firmly believe there's a group of people that pull the strings to make certain things happen around the world.
Absolutely,
I agree.
Around the world. Like if you own a shipping company and you hey, we're hurting. Well, let's just do something to make a logistics crisis.
Absolutely.
Let's back up all the ports.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to use my train instead. Or
I think that's the whole point of like not being able to have a monopoly, but our world is already that.
It is.
Like if you look at the top companies that own everything, it's like 4 or 5 companies that own
BlackRock,
everything.
Vanguard. Yeah.
You know, and it's like branched out. Yeah, sure, there's a bunch of branches, but like they're all going to the same people that are all fucking sickos.
And
So,
I think they take care of themselves too, right? Because you
Yeah.
have there's certain families in this country, and I'm sure it's the same way in other countries, that have been well off forever.
yeah, and that's like decades of like
just tons
learning how to way to live and the way to think.
Yep.
You know, if you're always grown up in that part and that where you have to make type of decisions like that are pretty much primarily towards you and stuff like that. yeah, you probably do that. You probably don't have it. I don't want to say empathy, but like a certain type of way of feeling the closeness of a family member that's maybe like right here. You know, different values, I guess, of like having to work on the farm and plow the field and stuff like that, rather than just being like, hey, who's gonna take this big ranch over in Texas that's for sale if I buy it?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Or
it's,
like
it's one to keep it.
You're more worried about passing down your generational wealth than you are about, I'd say that's what those big families are. So they do things. You take steps to protect that, right?
Yeah, but you can certainly still do that. Like we have accounts set up for our kids that we throw money into every single month that are like, hey, hopefully this gets you to a point where like you don't have to work until you're fucking 70 years old.
Yeah,
probably will, because everything will inflate up. But like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think one of those families is obviously the Rothschilds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the largest wealth family in the world. I think today their valuation is like $700 trillion.
Yeah.
They can't say that you're the most wealthy person in the world because it's not one individual. I mean, there's thousands of these people that are part of the Rothschilds.
The Gates I don't know if he has kids or what, but
he does. He's got two.
But like, even not that, like Saudi Arabia and stuff, like
all them princes
worldly
and sheiks
money,
and stuff.
Worldly money.
Yeah.
Look at like Dubai, like the guys that live there and are high rollers in Dubai. I mean, it's just outrageous.
See, that to me, when you said Dubai, kind of brings on like another conspiracy theory that I followed and have like tried to do research on, and I'm not a hack or quack yet, but I'll get there.
If you have to say that,
no,
you might be borderline.
But it's NOAA did a study back in the late 70s, and they called it DARPA. You guys ever heard of DARPA?
No.
All right, DARPA, and they started it up in Alaska, and it was to control weather manipulation and weather control. So putting atmospheric pressure into the sky, or controlling the atmospheric pressure by putting moisture into the sky, water, water seeding and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And so they could either get huge amounts of snowfall, or they could control the snowfall to a certain extent, so that it was able to control water across the globe, right? And so this is in the late 70s. And again, one of those shows that I told you about, Conspiracy Theory with Jesse the Body Ventura. This was one of his big research facilities that he went to visit in Alaska. And basically it's a bunch of radio antennas, right, that are up there. And how they're doing it is with this water seeding that they're doing in the atmosphere, is that they're sending up radio waves into the atmosphere to control the atmospheric pressure and to increase moisture. And so now Dubai is actually utilizing the technology.
That is crazy.
And they're using so they're using it to be able to make rain. So when they're in severe drought situations, that they can have a 30-minute rainfall or an hour rainfall, and they can control the amount of water that's pulled out of this system. So it further goes into like with the radio waves, right? So we had a really historic breakout of tornadoes this year, I would say early on in Iowa.
That was because of the eclipse.
But then also in Texas, they had like huge EF5s, like 10 in a day, right?
Yeah.
It's unheard of. Like we would hear of maybe one every 10 years that wiped out an entire town. They had like 5 in one day in Dallas and all these Fort Worth places. And I mean, that's kind of your home area. But there's one guy in specific that he's been following DARPA for a few years. He's actually a weatherman, went to school to be a meteorologist, and he is able to pull out the layers of radar. Radar has so many layers that are compounded over to make it. And he's pulling out all the radar layers, and he finds the radio frequency layer of radar. And it's actually, there's radio frequencies that were being pushed into these storm cells that were intensifying and increasing the strength of the tornado or the storm cell itself. Well, usually what happens when you have storm cells next to each other, they pull moisture, pressure, and strength from the other storm, decreasing it, right? All these storms at the same time increased exponentially, and none of them decreased. So he knew that there was something up, and he pulled all these layers out and saw all these radio waves and frequencies being pushed into these storms. And he's like, okay, now we've got the government or somebody is controlling weather and catastrophe and causing this. So it's like, okay, do you believe in somebody, and I'm not saying our government, but do you believe in somebody has the ability to control weather and to intensify disaster and create create this amongst us that we're losing lives, losing houses. The insurance industry in the past couple of years has been in a fucking crazy way where you're getting 30-40% increases now. Cost of living really isn't going up. That's my conspiracy theory that I try to like grab onto right now is like, is somebody controlling our weather?
Absolutely. You got to be right.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is crazy.
I mean, I've seen videos of...
Okay, I got a question real quick before we go into that. Would you say, Josh, it would be easier to control the weather if we were round, constantly rotating, or sitting flat kept
Earth.
In by an ice wall?
Flat Earth.
Round and rotating, baby.
No, Flat Earth to me.
I just wanted to fucking put that back in there.
Thanks. How does gravity work on a flat thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's
either.
up?
Like, to make gravity, you have to have the spinning.
They have a
watch those
magnet on
videos.
top.
Watch those videos I sent you
The
today.
Earth's always falling.
Yeah,
It's only,
we're on an.
then we should fall off.
No,
it's always falling.
We're in it. We're in a universe where it's an electromagnetic field underneath of us that's letting us spin on a flat plane. That's my thought theory. Go ahead.
Like a top.
Yeah. So you were talking about a video.
I'm spinning right now.
Yeah, we're just spinning.
We're just spinning.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
spin me right around, baby.
baby.
All right, we got to stop. We're going to shut down.
Not with our singing.
Back to the weather seeding. I've watched a video a couple years ago, and I found this interesting. So this guy was tracking airplanes, commercial airliners.
Yeah.
You see them in the sky all the time, and you see their chemtrail.
Yep.
So it's just the moisture in the air that they disturb, and then it. But what if it's not?
Yeah, I know.
What if it's chemical they're putting out to, one, either make it rain or make it not?
Yeah.
He showed a video that Florida was going to get hit with this. This storm was building over Florida. Like 3 planes flew around the state, and all of a sudden the storm, as soon as they went through this storm, it's like red and yellow on a radar and green. It just turns to green and then trickles away behind them.
That's pretty normal around Florida, though, right?
Well, I mean, the weather changes all the time, but who's to
Kinda
say
like New
that
Orleans.
them planes aren't dropping stuff to suck moisture out of the air or put moisture into the air?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I believe that.
So again, I firmly believe Kyle was talking about the Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think most movie and film industry people are part of the Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what has our existence, I'm 42, but what has our existence on this earth been? There's a lot of prediction and premonition in movies and in the film industry that tells us what's going to happen in the future.
Absolutely.
Ryan's talking about water seeding or weather seeding, right? But then also taking away strength from storms. Well, we saw it this summer when Twisters 2 came out, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. She's in there trying to control and trying to decrease storm strength and tornadoes. And it's silver iodide that she uses. Right? And it increases moisture.
Way to ruin the movie.
But it increases, if you haven't watched it yet, it was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But
I'm waiting for it to come out.
Okay.
On like.
But I'm not.
Dude,
I'm not spoiling it by any means.
Yeah.
But she's a scientist, and she goes in and she has this theory about silver iodide that's able to increase moisture drop or water droplets inside of a tornado, and with more water, actually decreases the pressure and the strength of the storm. And they could take their theory is to take an EF5 or an EF4 down to a 1, right? Or to dissipate it completely. So I agree. That somebody's out there controlling this shit. And I think the film industry is giving us an inside hit, inside loop to what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Illuminati.
Another one I like about the weather is all the windmills they put up.
Yeah.
Like the blades going around.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Chops jet streams and chops waves, or chops clouds, low-lying storm systems and stuff. They get beat up by those wind turbines, and it'll break storms up or make them worse.
Ah.
It's pretty far out there.
Never heard it.
But I've heard about it. I've heard a little bit about it before. I just haven't had time to research into it or dig into it deeply. But I'm just not a fan of the big windmills everywhere. They will never pay for themselves.
No,
their carbon footprint is way worse than it erases.
Agreed.
And then when they break, you just bury the blades in the ground because you have nothing else to do with them.
it's
They're
just
so
like
fucking
EVs.
big.
Yeah, but no, I think there's a lot to be said about trying to control the weather too, because we've already talked to everybody knows. It feels Bill Gates is trying to buy up all the farm ground and control the food, right, to control the population.
Yep.
Well, what better? Why would I buy farm ground when I can just control the weather? If it don't rain, you don't get no crops, you don't get no food.
Well, he's probably in cahoots with the people that can control the weather.
Oh,
like,
I guarantee it.
Where I need it.
I guarantee it.
The rich get richer.
Uh-huh.
interesting about that.
Got to keep them down. But yeah, I don't know. Some interesting stuff. But I'm a little thirsty. What about you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
So today, brought to you by Van's Liquor, our sip and savor is going to be Happy Dad seltzers.
The fruit punch.
Had them on before. The fruit punch.
Yeah.
They're pretty tasty, pretty delicious. If you want to try them out, check them out. Van's Liquor carries them in stock all the time. Mm-hmm. Up on Sinsinawa Avenue in East Dubuque, right next door to the strip. Are there still strip clubs in East Dubuque?
I don't think so. I mean, I would probably have stopped.
Kids these days don't understand. Kids these days don't understand what it was like in college.
The last time I went to East Dubuque, it was a long, rough night, but it was a lot of fun for a couple of us.
Yeah,
the chili dog place is still there, and that's solid.
We went to this place called the Cave, and it was so much fun. I watched the guy get thrown on the pool table, not to fight because some girl just wanted to dance on him. It was hilarious.
Oh gosh,
it was. I mean, it was like
anything went.
It was like a strip of Shakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
So like, yeah. So like maybe a little more high class, but. It was
wild.
like that. It was like that.
Anything went.
You went over there at 3:00 when the bars closed.
Yeah, bars closed in Iowa. You hit it across the bridge to Illinois.
Yeah.
They stayed open until 4. But yeah, thanks to Van's Liquor. Here's a brief word from them.
Thank you. Are you ready to make every moment unforgettable? Well, we've got the perfect pit stop for you. Van's Liquor. Need a rare bottle for that special occasion? Van's Liquor has it. Craving the finest beers for your weekend hangout? Van's Liquor has it, just over the bridge at 470 Sinsinawa Avenue, East Dubuque. Van's Liquor has everything you need to turn the ordinary into extraordinary. Don't settle for less. Choose the best at Van's Liquor, your celebration headquarters in East Dubuque.
Thank you again to Van's Liquor for helping us out and sponsoring our Sip and Savor. If you're in the East Dubuque area, if you're in the Dubuque area on a weekend and you need some brewskis, hit them up. But yeah, so jumping back into the conspiracies.
Conspiracy theories unite.
Touched on a bunch of them. What's your what do you think down there, Magic Mike? What's your favorite one you've heard so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I don't know. Like I told you guys, I just don't. I think anything can be conspiracy. Yeah. I think anything can be true. I think we live in a world that's like, man, yep, that could be true. That I could sink my teeth in just about anything. But I'd like to know more about, and maybe you guys don't, so the conversation may not go on. But I'd like to know more about the Denver airport and what goes on there, and like what's this? So
explain this Denver airport to me, because the first time I've heard about it is in this room.
So really? There's a bunch of like underground tunnels, right?
Yeah.
And like
something like that.
All kinds of shit that throws out that it's like the headquarters of the Illuminati. And they like buy into it, do they not, Josh?
They do. And I honestly think a lot of it has to do with like Colorado Springs being over there, because like that's where the government has their fallout shelter. I had a friend that's in the Air Force for many, many years, and he's like, you wouldn't believe the shit that's in the mountains.
Oh, I'm sure.
And he goes, you wouldn't believe what's underneath places and tunnels and just everything. He goes 34 stories deep in the mountains of Colorado.
Yeah.
He's like, is the fallout shelter for the world's elite.
Yeah. So when we were talking about this before, you also watched the show the 100, right?
Oh yeah, it was a great show.
So like that was like one of the things, like the mountain people, and it was the richest of rich.
In the bunker, right?
In the bunker, and they had all of the protective art that they should have kept, and like it. That show kind of follows along because there's underground people too. They're called the underground people, and they live in tunnels, and it's like fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it's a fun show.
I will subscribe to it. Mike, I believe it.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's, here's the thing for everybody watching. I have an addictive personality, so if I bite into something, I'm gonna go full down the rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland bullshit, and I'm gonna do as much research on it as I can to either debunk it or help prove to me why I went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, right. Why I wasted all this time.
So I'm gonna rationalize it one way or the other.
Yeah,
we got into a big like. Aliens, real, not real? Have we
They're
had contact
real.
stuff? Kyle, you weren't here for that. What's your take on the aliens? Real, not real? Have they been here? Have they been around?
Are they here amongst
Did they help
us?
us build the pyramids? Shit like that.
I'll say this. I definitely believe in aliens. I think
Hard crack.
to me, if you believe in the Big Bang, you have to believe in aliens.
Yeah.
Like, you mean to tell me that it was just us that were able to be created from that?
No.
Like,
Just sorry for us if it's just us.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel sorry for like, damn, dude, there's got to be something more, right?
yeah. I mean, how intelligent are these other areas?
Okay.
You think it's like a give and take type thing, where like there's like a dog, you know, so like us against dogs. Dogs hearing or their smell is like crazy compared to their sight, where we can see all different type of colors and we can see all that stuff. Do you think it's that type of situation where like they're super duper smart in a certain area, but like if you ask them like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" They'd be like, "What?"
Click, click, click.
Yeah.
Emotions. What are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
They could be like very scientifically advanced.
Football?
But when it comes to like language, like
I think
they have very primitive language.
you know,
Maybe
I
they're
think
super smart. They just can't build anything.
Or do you think they live amongst us?
I
would
think
love that.
I think they live amongst us. I mean,
Peace, Earth.
the
Like Men in
Roswell,
Black?
the Roswell reports have already been released. If you go out and read them, I
Yeah.
mean, there's alien craft that's here. There's aliens that have landed on this
Yeah.
Earth.
I
think
like how they just like released that, and this was kind of touched on. I think you may have said, or Mike said it.
Yeah.
Like our generation's just like so used to all this weird stuff happening that like just nothing phases.
it's
us.
white
Yeah, it's
noise.
like, oh, yeah.
But it's like they like the Pat McAfee show was talking about this. They're like, yeah, like they just basically admitted there's aliens, and no one even like I don't even think it made it.
When's the
like,
next
made
football
the
game?
news.
Yeah.
yeah. It was just like everybody was like,
Or what did
okay.
Trump say about Kamala? Or what did Kamala? You know, like they try to always like divert it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's not even something that should have like if you release that just like with social media and stuff like that, like you would have thought it would have been.
I think the way
fire.
most people think is like, okay, cool.
Now what?
I guess they're not doing anything.
But
to
I
us,
think
so let's keep it moving.
But I think we've all
At this
learned
time,
that
anyway.
social media can be controlled, and that it can certain things that don't want to be out there can be shut down or exponentially blown up.
But if you don't want it out there, you wouldn't release it.
Well, I totally get that.
But yeah, I think.
Well, that's what's cool about whistleblowers.
But I
Yeah.
think that's the thing though is like, oh, they're not hurting us. They're just making these weird things happen.
yeah.
But they don't like. You can't really say like how many.
Or
things
maybe
have
they
you-
are making weird shit happen.
Well, but how many things have you ever been like aliens are like linked to this terrible event that happened?
Yeah.
You never really hear that.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're not like blowing up buildings and stuff. Okay. Like
What
we
if-
do worse.
well, I don't know. So like
But like you never hear it's linked to that.
yeah. So like, well, that's funny you say that because there's this he's a producer. He produces for a business, and he his name is Za, and he's from Zimbabwe, and he has he's had an experience to where like an alien he lived down in Zimbabwe, and an alien like spacecraft landed at their school when they were like out for recess, and then like how many years later, I think the story is like half of them don't remember it even happening. But right away, he's like, they pulled us in, they questioned us, they asked us what to draw, and like, he said it was pretty crazy. And he's like, it definitely happened. Like, it definitely happened.
I think it's wild that like, no matter where you are in the world, when you talk
It
about
could either
spaceships,
happen.
they all get drawn the same way.
Yeah.
It's all like a flying saucer
Yep.
or
Yep.
something. They're all similar.
Right.
But that's like, I like to run with this shit. So I'd say since probably about the year 2000, technologically wise, the last 24 years, we've gone crazy. Like shit has just boom, boom, boom. It's constantly changing, right?
Yeah,
Things
in
are constantly upgrading.
an extent, because I mean, I feel like we're not getting internet's as fast as it's always going to be. It can't really get much faster than what it is, you know,
Yeah.
like that type of stuff. We haven't been really
But I mean, like
inventing a lot of new shit lately.
microchips, you know, this thing has like, it would have been 30 different things back in the day.
Yeah.
So compacting things, making them
Right,
smaller,
right.
more. So my thought is, so we've had these alien crafts around. Thanks for playing the guitar. These alien crafts are confirmed that have been here forever. So I think we're reverse engineering that stuff.
Yeah.
And putting it in our own technology to make things better.
Yeah.
If their stuff is better. So who's not to say that the aliens were so far advanced that they were able to upload themselves technologically into these ships. So we start reverse engineering it. Say AI, when we turn it on and we're like, yeah, this is going to help us. Who's to say AI is not actually alien intelligence?
Yeah. I think a couple things there. I think
That's
we
the
can talk-
show 100. That's
Yeah.
Becca from the 100.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Goddamn
saying, like,
bitch.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk more about AI in a second because, like, I think think that how many movies have we seen about AI and it takes over the world? But yeah, we're just gonna
Terminator.
iRobot.
But we're just gonna keep pushing the limits. Like, we've seen this movie.
Well, it's because there's a demand for it, though, Kyle.
Yeah.
Like, we need more, and we need
more technology.
Yeah.
But that's where I think like film has, again, going back to the Illuminati, that's where I think film has a set of plans, a design, and they're letting us know subtly through movies, and this is their, it's not their Easter egg by any means, but it's subliminal. They're letting us know so that when it does happen, we're dumbed down. It's not as like, oh my God, the fucking world's ending. No, it's like, oh shit, I saw this in a movie.
So do you think it's like a wake up call or a whistle blow or anything like that?
I think it's just like,
it's
kind of like the Disney movies. They
or
subtly
the government's
slide
like saying, hey,
things
get ready for this.
Yeah.
You ever seen the Pinocchio, the Pinocchio clip that floats around every now and then? The guy's like, they talk about Pleasure Island. He's like, no, we take them out there. Oh, but they don't come back as little boys. No, it's like super creepy. Super creepy.
I have seen that.
It's
I think this is my own conspiracy theory, though. Like, just talking about like the aliens and like the abductions and stuff like that. Like, everybody here has had like deja vu before, right?
Yeah. I talked about that last episode.
Yeah. So could deja vu be just a slight? We have to put them back into this place, but where do we put them? We can't just have them missing 6 months of their life. So we'll just like put their memory 3 months earlier
back to where it was.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then you relive it, and then you're like, wait, this seems familiar, but like.
Well, I'll keep it moving.
Yeah.
Hopefully I make a different choice this time.
Yeah.
Or you, if you want to get crazy about the deja vu, did you just slip realities with another you in a different reality?
Rick and Morty
Ooh,
style.
hold on.
To another reality. Is there a Ryan Reed that's a super stud
Did
race
you
car
guys
driver?
watch that podcast that I sent you of the audio crack?
Yeah.
Of the guy that dove into the Malaysia flight.
Yeah.
And it was not like lost. It got transported into a different dimension. And
That's like that
fucking
movie.
Josh,
all right, so
tap in,
what's that
tap in.
movie?
He's so excited over here.
What's that TV show called?
It's called like Flight 380 or some shit like that. Oh, you're talking about the TV show where the plane goes missing and comes back 7 years later.
Yeah, it comes 7 years later,
and then they all have like this death date, right?
Well, no, I don't. I didn't see all of it, but I know like the premise of the show was like this plane just goes missing. All of a sudden they hit like turbulence, they come back, and it's all of a sudden 7 years later. They have no idea they've been gone. They feel like
they land and get pulled into a hangar.
Yeah, manifest.
Yeah,
they
they're
don't
walking
even realize.
out. People are like, it's been
they
7
don't even
years.
realize they've been gone. They just assumed it was like some rough turbulence or whatever. But like,
I got into that.
The one girl.
Turbulence is the movie.
It's called Manifest. Manifest is the TV show. It's like 8 seasons, and I
didn't make it 8
watched
seasons.
the
I made
fuck out of that.
I made it like 1.
What's it on? No free shout out.
Yeah.
So Peacock.
Oh, dude, I'm not even kidding you. Like,
I think it's on Netflix too.
Candace and I, there was 2 weekends in a row, like 2 years ago, where we found this, and I think it'd been out already, and we found this shit, and we literally 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. or midnight, we fucking sat there and watched this shit. And
it's crazy.
It captures you. It takes you in, and you're like, go get the popcorn and the pop. We're fucking watching the rest
I was
of this.
cool with it. I was cool with it until they like came back with like these.
How long are the
powers.
Episodes?
An hour.
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour.
But like I was all on board with it until they like kind of had these like powers or whatever that they got with it.
Yeah.
But like the idea that this girl who was on this flight was researching a cure for cancer, like a very specific cure for cancer. This kid on that flight had that cancer.
Yeah.
Her research was like saved and transmitted right before they got sucked in.
Yep.
So then 7 years later, they were able to perfect it. Thus, the kid had like a cure for his cancer. Yep. So it was like,
well, there's a cure for cancer. They just don't want us to know about.
No,
see,
it's too much.
No, see, I think there's a cure for
Cancer's
AIDS.
$1 billion industry.
I think there's a cure for AIDS because we can treat it to a point where people don't really die from it if you catch it when it's HIV. But they wouldn't.
People don't die from cancer all the time, Kyle.
No, they die a lot though.
For sure, but
if there was a cure for it, they would get it to the point where you have to take this pill every single day for the rest of your life, and it's a ton of money to do it.
No, they wouldn't.
Treatment's
you know how
more
much
expensive.
stuff revolves around that, dude?
Yeah.
so much money, make a wish. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, dude. That's
dude,
just
cancer's
like,
$1 billion industry.
Yeah.
Why would you
Right.
shut that?
Yeah.
But I think you'd make way more
it's
money.
big pharma, obviously.
But you can't tell me
Why
you
would
would
you
make more
shut
money
that down?
having it be priced like insulin. Insulin, like, is ridiculous.
You're not getting you're not getting. Look at the donations and shit they get to keep researching it.
Relay for Life. All that stuff,
I mean, dude, it's. Why would you shut it down?
Healthcare is a conspiracy I don't care to get into because
me either.
I think it dives further into like corporate greed. But
yeah, me either.
I was really stoked when you guys talked about realms and like, is there another Ryan Reed in another realm? Again, I'm gonna beat this like an old fucking drum. I think the movies give us an insight.
Why don't you use like a normal analogy? Like, I'm gonna beat this like a dead horse.
Yeah,
No,
I'll beat it like a dead horse.
You beat a drum.
You
beat
a drum.
this like
I'm
my
gonna
redheaded
keep beating-
stepchild.
No, I'm going to keep beating it. I'm going to keep beating the drum.
Quit beating it.
So I think the movies have a really good insight into the future.
Quit
Now,
beating it.
am I saying do we have superheroes amongst us on Earth? No, we don't. We don't
That'd be
have.
cool.
We don't
You
have
picked the wrong
Ant-Man.
reality,
We
brother.
don't have. We don't have
Don't you
Iron Man.
fucking
We
dare
don't
tell
have
me
s-
there's no wizards.
but
'cause
we
I
don't
will
have-
stop
no,
listening.
no,
Hey,
no,
we have
I'm talking about
superheroes
that.
every day. Thank you, Mike Olson, for being a firefighter.
Yeah, well, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have like the Iron Mans or
Get
the
some brown
Ant Mans
shit
or
on
this or
your
that. But like the one movie, Doctor Strange, right? Like with Doctor Strange being able to open portals and realms and stuff like that, and it's all by frequency that he opens all this stuff up and sends it. So I agree with Ryan. Like, is there another realm? Did he get transported? I think realms are really, really real. I think
Yeah, I think they
realms.
are too,
I think
probably.
realms are real, and I think depending upon which realm you're in, there's another alternate Kyle Shekel in another realm wearing an Iowa State jersey today. You know, and he's happy.
I'd kick his ass.
But he's
You would try.
He's probably
He's probably smarter than you.
He's probably got a really successful
Hey,
radio show.
Yeah.
if he's smarter than me, that's even better. Because if you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
and he's a mechanical engineer. You know,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like these realms are very, very real.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this has to go back to like frequency. I think like the old bells that we talked about on that episode, the part one. If you go do research on bells, a lot of people are taking big church bells and big bells out of their steeples and off of monuments and shit, because bells have a certain frequency that has a tendency to mess with like electromagnetic waves and all this other. Do your research on it, but I do think there's realms out there beyond Earth, and I think there's portals that we can get ourselves into.
Well, there's kind of got to be, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if we have aliens floating around that disappear out of nowhere, I mean,
I
you
think-
kind of have to be doing that, right?
We've seen the portals. Look at a black hole.
Yeah.
It sucks shit in. Nobody knows where it goes.
Yeah.
That's
The
another
Bermuda
one. Apparently
Triangle.
the
Don't
Earth
tell me
is
that's not
already
a
in
portal.
black hole.
Yeah.
So
they're
what's
saying we're in a black hole.
what's the Bermuda Triangle? What do you guys know about that?
Electromagnetic.
I know you don't want to
radio
fly
waves.
through it.
Yeah.
Or go boats.
Yeah, I think
boats.
it's just the electromagnetic radio waves.
Hey, have you guys ever? Speaking of boats, have you guys ever heard of ghost ships?
Yeah,
Like
ghost ships.
ghost ships?
Bless you.
Creepers, creepers.
Excuse me. Oh, I feel better.
Oh, God bless you.
But like,
I forgot you were
You're a man,
germaphobe.
goddammit.
I forgot you were germaphobe.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no.
sorry.
You're a man, goddammit.
Crawled into Mike's lap.
but like that, like I'm not afraid of like blood and gore like in movies and
I hate
stuff.
ghosts.
That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Ghost scary stuff like
Why?
scares the because you don't know. Like there's such an unknown with it.
If
like
I-
I know there's a crazy person out there that would cut my face off if I see him in a dark alley.
If I can
I've
fight it,
come to
shoot it,
accept
kill
that.
it, not scared of it.
Dude, you can fight ghosts. You never
No, you
watched
can't.
Supernatural?
Bro.
There's like 15 seasons
No.
out there. A little salt ring on the floor.
I'll
Get
just
inside
ask
that
them.
shit.
If they've
No.
taught me anything,
What's
then
going
I am
on, man?
not prepared.
With ghosts,
I would just be like, "Am I bothering you?" Is what I'd say. Am I bothering you? Because if he says yes, I'll be like, "I apologize."
I'm the fuck out of here.
I
See you later.
1000% believe in ghosts wholeheartedly.
My sister swears she's seen one.
When I was a kid, I had experiences that like couldn't be named, couldn't be explained.
My little sister, you guys know down at like the park in Bellevue that has like the pictures of the two gentlemen that passed.
That's
like,
not there anymore. But Piggy Park. Yeah,
Yes,
come on.
okay,
You know
so-
the park name.
yeah.
You used to live right there.
I didn't want to. I was trying not to like. I don't know. But anyways,
Shout
there
out
was-
Piggy Park. We go there
so
all the
there's-
time.
there's
Nobody's
this
ever
park,
there.
It was called Piggy Park.
Yeah,
and
it's
it had
fucking
this.
awesome.
It had this monument to these two gentlemen that passed away in a car accident, like on prom night. And so it has their pictures there, and then like their names or whatever.
Yeah.
And then my little sister was over at the park, too young to read. Like nobody was like talking about it.
Yeah.
She like went home and was like, yeah, like I was talking to, I don't remember their names. It was like Dave and John. And they were saying like they used to hang out here a bunch or like something like that. And like, we had no idea how she knew any of it. Like, it was
until you went over there with her one day and you read it and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
Well,
She's fucking smart.
We knew who she was like talking about, but like we hadn't said their names. Like we hadn't done any, like we weren't even over in that area that day. And like she knew stuff, and it's like that's creepy.
You want me to fucking like add another layer onto that whole craziness?
Yeah.
So 2001, we had 9/11. Towers went down. A lot of people died. Very unfortunate. But Parker, most kids nowadays know about 9/11 because of school, but they only start teaching it at a certain grade level, right? Parker had never heard about 9/11. Had never.
Fuck, Ryan.
I don't know, man. Are you allergic to Josh's
Yeah,
bullshit?
maybe. Had never read about 9/11. Had never. We've never been to New York with him, like ever. And it was really crazy because they were doing the whole week during September 11th, talking about 9/11 and what happened. And the teacher was showing a video. Parker goes, I used to live there. And Parker was born in Des Moines. We lived out in Altoona for probably 2 or 3 years before we moved back here. So he's really never experienced anything. And he's like, yeah, I used to live in New York. And he's telling his teacher this. And she's just like, he lies, whatever, little kid, just being funny, right? And so videos kept going and videos kept going. And this is where it gets really crazy. Parker pointed out a house, and it was an old brownstone that's in one of the boroughs. And so our teacher, his teacher at the time, got a hold of us. She said, hey, she's like, just wanted to let you know this happened at school today. Parker, I think he's fibbing or he's lying, but just wanted to let you know so maybe you guys could talk to him about it tonight. And so we did. And I said, hey, what's going on? And he's like, I got to see where I lived. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. And I was like, what else? And he's like, well, yeah, I died. And I said, really? I was like, yeah, I died in 9/11.
What?
And he told me his first name. Couldn't remember his last name, but told me his first name. So I was like, okay, well, not really knowing what to think of this. This might go back to your whole reincarnation shit.
Yeah.
So we asked the teacher to send us over the video that she showed, and we played it again like we were just like pulling it up on YouTube, and we played the video, and like Parker was sitting with us, and he goes, yeah, that's where I used to live. So I looked at the house number, paused it, rewound it, and fast forwarded it, tried to find a street name, went back and found a street name. Sure as shit, this fucking guy with the name that Parker said used to own that brownstone.
No fucking
Died
way.
in 9/11 in the tower, worked as a finance guy. Died in 9/11. Well, you know how like the myth is like if you have birthmarks on your body, that's where you died in a former life.
Oh, yeah.
And so he has a birthmark on his heart, he has a birthmark on his neck, and he has a birthmark behind his head. So, who knows
which one
what it was, but I asked him, I said, so yeah, we kept asking him, we're like, tell us more about New York, what you did. And he's like, I was married, and he's like, had a couple kids. And so then I went and researched this guy. He had a wife, 2 kids. And I was like, you just try to put this shit together. And it's like, okay, maybe certain things that we see jog our memory from a former life. I kind of find it hard to believe that he was in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
I find it hard
Pretty
to believe
accurate,
that
though.
he could have that type of memory, or like maybe it jogged it, but I thought it was fucking crazy.
I've heard of that from younger kids than that.
Yeah.
Like kids that are super duper young, like just starting to learn how to speak and stuff like that, and don't have a grasp or a concept of like their childhood. Mm-hmm. But you can start asking them questions, and some kids will start talking about like, oh yeah, I lived here, I had this job, or I did this, and like they don't know about this stuff yet. Mm-hmm. So where are they getting it from?
That's crazy. I wonder what I would do in that situation. Yeah.
I was freaked out.
I think does he forgot about that now?
No, he still talks about it.
Yeah. I think it's like kind of not in the exact sense of that, but like you hear about these people expect like 9/11 as an example. It's like, yeah, I was supposed to be in a meeting on like this floor that morning.
Oh yeah.
And like I just kind of woke up and just, had this feeling like maybe I'll be like a half hour late today. Just like all these stories about people like, yeah, I got pulled. I didn't, and I could be wrong, but I think my sister told me a story about like one of your guys' teachers that like they had somebody that was like that, like a family member or a friend or something.
I don't know.
I could be wrong on that, but
I'd have to know what teacher it was.
Sister, I think.
Like Sister Sally?
Yeah. I could be wrong. Yeah. I don't know, like a friend or something. I don't know.
I never had Sister Sally. I was in resource room at the high school.
But like you hear all these stories, and it's like, what? like what stopped you? Like what? Like I think we have that all the time. Like, oh, if I was 15 minutes earlier on my way to work, I'd have been in that accident like right up there. You know what I mean? Like,
my mom has that connection with me, and she would tell me, like, she would call me like, hey, don't go to work, or she's like, hey, stay off the road today. Or I would get in something, have something happen, and she's like, I fucking knew it. She's like, I knew something was wrong. She's like, something just told me it was. It's crazy how you have that. And I think
frequency.
I think going back to like almost telepathy, we talked about aliens earlier and how they communicate. And I think it is like telepathy. I think there's something, that people have, especially like twins. Twins can feel that stuff.
For sure.
And we did this thing with like Ty and Jace a couple weeks ago where we put them on separate sides of the wall. We said, hey, hold up a number of fingers. And both of them, I mean, they're only 18 months apart, but they both held up the same amount of fingers. We're like, raise a hand, and they'd raise the same hand up. We did like 20 different tests with those two, and every movement or action they did was the same as the other person. So, I mean, I think human nature we're developing, and we have developed, and I think there's certain things that we can take apart that we're developing like technology is.
I agree.
Yeah. That was a little off topic.
Crazy. No. I mean, I think that's the
We're
whole part of
the
conspiracy.
realm of weird, brother. What realm of weird?
Well, that's conspiracy, right? It all leads to something else. I feel like.
Like on the technology topic, one of the things I get excited about. So Elon Musk's doing some crazy stuff, but his
crazy shit.
His chip he wants to put in.
Yeah.
That you put it in your brain. It's an implant. But I think there's a guy that has it already, and on the computer screen, hands free, clicks on stuff, does stuff, types everything. But imagine getting to a point with that chip where you put it in your brain, you have this chip in there, you start running stuff through this chip. Well, now you can take this chip and put really good memories on there and stuff. So you start putting your memories on there, and they remember that. So say like you're 90 years old, you're getting ready to die. You put all your memories on your chip. They axe you. They pull that chip out and stick it in a robot. It loads up all your memories.
Boom.
You pop back in there. You're like, hey, this is great.
Like Minority Report? You ever seen Minority Report?
Oh, where they can see the crimes before they happen?
Pre-crime?
Premonition. Yeah.
I feel like you could take that one step further and like get it to where the brain can process said chip like instantly. Alzheimer's is cured.
Alzheimer's is diabetes type 3.
Yeah, I mean, Alzheimer's is stuff that we've just continued to put into our body that's affected us so bad that we can't.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like that's not a conspiracy at this point anymore. I mean, they're literally loading us with stuff that's fucking poison. And I mean, I showed you guys that video about the energy drinks. No.
Yeah.
Where it's like Monster and Celsius.
Celsius has got one chemical away from fucking cyanide.
It's basically cyanide, and you know what cyanide is. It's sludge off the top of waste.
Yep.
So it's like they dry it out and they put it into a powder and they throw it in your energy drinks. I mean, that's waste. So that's not a conspiracy at this point, dude. They're making us sick, keeping us sick. It's big pharma, you know. It's like that could be cured. I mean, there's science behind that like the Amish don't have anything like that because they're basically all natural, like the real Amish. Like they don't have any of that stuff.
There's no autism.
There's no autism. There's no nothing. And that stuff really didn't even jump up until like the 70s, like in America, and that's when stuff started to change. I mean, you can dive deep into that. That's not conspiracy. That's real science behind that.
Whole truth.
And the fact that our FDA and stuff like still, sorry, but this stuff gets me super fired up, and it's not has anything to do with conspiracy, but like the fact that our FDA and like people allow that to happen is fucking nuts.
It's conspiracy on why they'd want to try to control everything about it and kill us off sooner. But if you look at these other countries across the globe, they've all determined Alzheimer's and dementia as type 3 diabetes. They've said it. It's an insulin deficiency in your body and your brain, or it's an overproduction of insulin in your brain that's producing this to be able to, not have memory, not have,
We're all extremely addicted to sugar.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So it is type 3 diabetes of the brain. That's what Alzheimer's and dementia is.
Oh, that's dark.
Yeah. It's,
you know what's not
and they're
dark?
doing it to us.
You know what's not dark?
My legs.
Blue. Lighting up your house.
What a segue, man.
Fucking transition,
You
baby.
like that?
Let's go.
I got a brain for you.
All
No, it's not dark. You need to light up your house. Why not hit up Lit Up Midwest.
Absolutely.
Listen, take it from them.
Am I the only one that didn't know you can light up your home year-round? Let's talk about Lit Up Midwest. Imagine 16 million lighting combinations, 250 colors per sequence, nearly invisible by day, dazzling by night. Perfect for holidays, parties, or just to make your home stand out. With a one-time installation, enjoy up to 20 years of customizable, permanent lighting.
Yeah, thanks again, Adam, for Lit Up Midwest, for hopping on board with us. If you're looking for an outdoor lighting solution that is permanent, unseen, and works very well, reach out to them.
Absolutely.
20% off.
20% off if you mention the Manstream Podcast.
20% off. 20%
That's a hell of a
off,
discount.
20% off.
Yeah.
I feel like it's got to be.
That's, I mean,
Did they do it by square footage, or how do they do it?
Mike told me when they did the Lamont Fire Department, Adam charges by the foot.
Oh.
And
foot by the foot.
I didn't think it was that far off with what they do and all the technology that goes behind it. And I thought to myself, well, like, if you think about it and you have 100 feet, and I think it was like anywhere from $10 to $12 a foot, apologies.
How much lights are you mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's $1,200.
And not just lights, you got to get new clips every single fucking year.
Exactly.
Too.
And
you
these
gotta
you don't
do it
have
every
to.
year.
You don't have to tear them down.
Mine just fell down.
And if you think about Christmas lights, I'm replacing the same Christmas lights every 2 or 3 years, and I'm spending $300-400 every 3 or 4 years on Christmas lights.
Yeah.
So in the long run, you know, if you're an efficiency person, you know, this is the way to go.
You can't tell me that there's not wear and tear that you put on your house too when you like.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether it's on your gutters, every time you
Pull a
Scooting
shingles.
across your shingles.
you put it across your
Scooting across
shingles,
your
and
shingles.
you're, like
Yeah.
scooping your shingles,
Ripping the
up.
gutters off like
Yeah.
Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
So I think long term, it
Why is the
Yeah.
floor
pays for
wet?
itself.
It makes perfect sense. And if
Yeah.
he's giving you 20% off, give him a holler.
Jesus, yeah.
That takes it from $10 a foot to $8 a foot.
Right.
That's if my calculations are correct. I think it's $12 a
My
foot.
calculations are correct.
Interesting.
We're gonna go
Let's-
back to 1985.
Now do 20% of 11.
It is. I'll figure it out later. All right. Let's
2.1.
leave the math in the dust and jump into a preferred segment, the Manstream Podcast Draft.
Wah, wah, wah,
Boom.
wah.
Bum, ba, da, ba. Make sure after we do this draft and you're listening still, jump on our socials. Go give our your favorite person with their favorite top 5 a like, me, and we will put the winners down on our whiteboard right here. One day there'll be a whiteboard in here.
It's the
and a
imaginary
shelf.
whiteboard.
But today we are going to draft the top 5 things that are blue.
I like it.
Your top 5 blue
Worst
things.
things, best things, anything.
Whatever-
Just
whatever
your
blue.
top 5 blue things.
If it hits you blue and if it's your worst, say it. We'll put that on the graphic. If it's your favorite, we'll put it on.
Yeah, just put it. Just blue things. Top 5 blue things.
I'm gonna go favorites just because like blue's
Sure.
blue's my favorite color.
I'm just gonna say blue things. Kyle's got a list on his phone.
How do we want to go?
I don't
Blue
know.
waffle.
Started
I
with
don't know
Mike
that many
last time.
blue
We'll
things.
snake draft it and we'll just start over here.
Okay.
Blue waffle.
Delicious.
Don't
Top
look it up.
5 blue things, hate it or like it. Blue's my favorite color,
Same.
Same.
so I'm
So
gonna go
take
with
some
that.
shit.
What?
Just the
kidding.
color blue.
You can't pick the color. That's the category, jackass.
My 1980.
Okay, draft's over.
No, my 1986 Monte Carlo SS. I painted metallic blue, Krager SS rims on it, 350. That right there. That's my favorite blue thing.
So you had a
Okay.
blue Monte Carlo.
Blue Monte
Okay.
Carlo.
All right. My first blue thing. Do you ever eat the Scooby Doo gummies?
Yeah.
The little
absolutely.
gummy snacks. The blue
Absolutely.
ones were Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
That's
Some
my
of the
number
best
one.
fruit snacks. R.I.P. I don't
That's
think
the
they come out
best.
with those
That's the
anymore.
best flavor of fruit snack. That blue one.
All right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Scooby Doo snack.
That type too.
Somebody's probably gonna like make a fuss about this. I think pools, like the water in the pool,
the blue pool.
yeah, it's like blue.
Okay.
If you put enough water together, it looks blue.
Are you talking the pool liner or the water?
Like
Are you
blue
gonna say
pool.
water's clear?
Yeah.
the pool.
Okay.
Is
we
water
can
wet?
Dive into that.
Is water wet?
Absolutely as well.
Interesting. So you got blue pool water.
Blue pool water.
Blue pools.
Okay. So I
Don't
get to
get
pick
in the
two?
green pool water.
I get to pick 2.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going like the ocean water.
Yeah.
Like the water that I saw in Greece was just like the most beautiful thing in my life that I've ever like beautiful blue I've ever seen. So I'm going with that. That's open body ocean,
There you go.
not the Mississippi. The ocean.
That's brown, bud.
And my second one is it's just got to be blue eyes. I mean, if you see a beautiful pair of blue eyes, it's just like
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that.
You like
I
my
have a
big,
brown-
beautiful
I'm
blue
kind of
eyes?
talking like
Oh,
self-talk to myself in the mirror every morning. But yeah, blue eyes.
Yeah, blue eyes.
Blue eyes.
I'm gonna go kind of what Mike said the first time, but glaciers.
Ooh.
I like the coolest thing I've ever seen is like Glacier National Park.
You ever seen like I
they
saw
blue?
a video once where like a glacier breaks off and the blue bottom like turns and floats up. It looks very fucking cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say like a nice blue sky day. You know, where the sky looks like Andy's room from Toy Story.
Yeah, sky was on mine.
Nice
Sky
and
was on
bright
mine.
blue with a couple clouds here and there.
Yeah.
Sky was
Perfect
on
day.
mine.
All right. My favorite fruit, blueberries.
Mother trucker, dude.
I love
You
blueberries.
guys are googling
They're
blue
purple.
shit so
No,
hard
I'm
right
taking
now.
stuff off
blueberries
of mine.
are purple.
No, they're blue, bro.
No,
It's
they're
called a-
not.
called
They're
It's
blue.
called a
blue.
blue. They got
love-
antioxidants.
They're
I love
blue.
blueberries. They're so good.
They're blue. I
So-
gotta take
so good.
2 off my list. Okay.
Trying to think of a blue cornflower.
What?
Yeah, cornflower. Blue cornflower.
That was on this list. I don't know why? But
I just had a coworker that her daughter's getting married coming up here in September, and her theme is blue colored, and so they were trying to figure out flowers that were blue, and there's not many that are true blue. And she's like, "What about a cornflower?" And I was like, "What the fuck's a
What the
cornflower?"
fuck are they called?
Well, then I saw it, and it's fucking cool.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Interesting. Cool.
yeah, blue
Right.
cornflower.
I'll stay in the flower category and
wait,
being
was that your second one?
Yeah,
From-
the blueberries and cornflower.
from Texas. I'm gonna say the blue bonnet.
Ooh,
The flower of Texas.
yeah.
Okay.
Just got all my
I
Texas
love it.
peeps votes right there.
11-11. Make a wish, guys.
I am going to go Blue Bunny ice cream,
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Out of
Yeah.
where?
Iowa.
What part?
It's not Nebraska, so
Lamar's.
you can't claim it.
No, it's right above my hometown of Adair.
Oh, nice.
Straight north.
Just
Lamar's,
slightly
isn't it?
west.
Straight
'cause
north.
You're from Nebraska.
Iowa, bud.
Me?
You.
I'm going blue raspberry, like candy flavor. Like a blue raspberry snow cone.
Yeah.
A blue raspberry airhead.
Okay.
That type of stuff. Blue raspberry candy flavoring. Like, remember those fucking liquid squeeze candies used to come in like a toothpaste bottle?
Oh my god,
They used
my
to have
kid.
like
He wanted one last night at the
Yes,
Casey store. and
they
I'm like,
still have 'em?
Oh, absolutely, dude.
oh, I'd get the blue raspberry
Yeah,
every
that's
time.
what
And actually,
he put it away.
I want to say this. Maybe I wasn't. I just like to think I am. But my first job, one of my first jobs was bussing tables at Richmond's Cafe. And they used to have a blue raspberry flavored
Ice cream.
pump that would be liquid. It'd be like syrup. And I used to
Your air
take-
your air dicking over there hard.
I know. I used to, because it makes me fucking want to. I used to take Mountain Dew. Listen.
He wanted to be smothered.
Listen
covered,
up, motherfuckers.
yeah, I've got
I
you.
used to take Mountain Dew
Yeah.
to 2 squirts of that blue raspberry. It was fucking Baja Blast.
2 squirts.
Really?
It was Baja Blast.
All right. Before Baja Blast was a thing.
Before Baja Blast was a thing that I knew of. I was making that shit at Richmond's
So
Cafe.
Pepsi stole it from you.
Well, I don't want to say that. But
I wouldn't say that.
Let's get some royalties on here.
okay,
I was gonna
so
say I wouldn't say
that's
that.
my
All right.
That was 3, right?
that was 3, and I go again.
Yeah.
Excuse me. My eye won't stop watering. I keep sneezing.
Blue.
There's something down here, huh?
I'm gonna go the blue,
Fucking with you.
the blue-footed Bobby.
What the fuck is that? A
What?
bird? Bird?
Yeah, it's like a duck. It's like a fucking.
You guys in your fucking Google.
It's like a no. This is like a real thing. Look it up. You all got your phones.
I was texting.
It's a duck that have like real blue feet.
I've heard
It's,
of
like,
it now
really
that you say
fucking
what
cool.
it is, but yeah.
It's fucking cool looking. Look it up, bitch.
Bitch.
I'm texting. I'm not.
Well,
Okay.
this next one was a tough choice, but you have to go with the nectar of the gods. Busch
Iowa
Light.
water? Bush Light?
Busch lattes.
Bush lattes, eh?
Busch lattes.
Yeah.
But
Blue Mountains?
I'm gonna give you a little kickback on that. When you talk about blue beer, you instantly think of Coors Light, right? Because the mountains are blue.
Or Bud Light?
No.
The mountains are white until they get
The
cool.
whole can's blue. The whole can.
Yeah.
Okay,
true.
okay. Listen, I don't drink the beer.
Could be the Blue Ridge
I'm a
Mountains,
happy dad
too.
guy. I don't know about you, but
The whole can's blue.
okay, cool.
Happy
you can take it.
dads.
You can take it. You'll get votes for that for sure.
That's what I'm thinking.
Down, boy. Down. It's okay. I'm gonna go with the blue on the Denver Broncos uniforms.
Very little
So
blue.
like
but
navy blue.
Are you a
They
Broncos
They
fan?
have blue helmets.
Are
dude.
you a Broncos fan?
Yeah, their helmets are blue.
I figured you'd be like a Texans fan or something like that, or Dallas Cowboys.
Ugh.
You're from Texas. I'm sorry. I just figured you were. Kind of forgot you were a Broncos fan.
Yeah, Bo Nix. It's our year, baby.
Alrighty.
I'll do Denver Bronco helmets because they're blue.
All right. So I got 2, and these are my last 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think robin eggs
Oh,
are. Would you consider those blue or those teal?
yeah.
They're like this.
We'll count it.
They're like this blue.
It's like ocean blue,
I think it's a cool
Count it.
egg. I think just robin eggs are cool eggs.
and they're everywhere.
Yeah, and it just signifies spring. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Last one. I had a blue iguana when I was in college.
No shit.
Like it was blue.
Yes and no. It was kind of a
named
green.
blue?
No, it was kind of green,
Cheater.
but it was a blue
You can go with it.
iguana. I had a gecko too. So that's I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, I'd say a blue iguana. I don't know.
Was it for your insurance?
No, this gecko wasn't green. It was
Nobody-
brown.
Nobody, come on.
I got you. You're,
Did you really?
you're reaching, Kyle.
I try. That's
You
what
know
I'm
what?
here for.
I can't remember what
Wait
the
till
name
my
of
last
these.
pick.
I can't remember what the name of these. I think it's a chameleon. Actually, those fuckers are super colorful.
They change color.
Yeah, I'd love to have a chameleon.
I got
Those things
bit
are
by-
awesome.
Yeah, I got bit by one.
So for
First
my
grade, kindergarten.
last pick here, right?
Yeah, I
That was
think
your
so.
fifth? Yeah. So for my last pick, I'm gonna give it a 10. Fucking 10. Varsity Blues, baby.
I thought you were gonna go a different movie on that.
You were the.
I thought you were gonna go.
That's
I thought you were gonna go.
good.
My boy Blue.
Hey, what was your fucking football number?
65.
Oh God, it would have been better if it was 69.
That's my race car number, 69 ER.
Yeah, I get that.
We got
but
the
it would've been better
69er
if-
coming off turn 4.
It would have been better if you were 69 football too.
65.
Billy Bob.
10. Give it a fucking 10.
That's funny.
Great.
I hate that you went the Broncos on your last pick because it's gonna seem
second
like
to
I'm-
last.
It seems like I'm gonna
Copy.
You can copy
it.
me. It's okay,
But
Kyle.
I was gonna go the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs. Uniforms.
Just a lot of blue.
Yeah.
They're more white and gray.
No, they're not.
There's more blue there than white. And there's more blue than gray.
I'm gonna go. This is my last pick, right?
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna go with.
I hear you.
You know, we touched on it earlier about reincarnation and stuff like that, and I just like keep telling myself all the time, and it may sound silly, but I could tell myself I want to be a fucking bald eagle so bad. Like I just have a feeling that some point
Are they blue?
I will come back to no.
Okay.
But I'm
you're
going.
getting-
waiting.
They're not blue, but I'm going to go in the same realm of
Kyle just got his ass kicked by his microphone.
like air flight. So I'm going to go a blue jay.
Blue Jay.
Blue jays are
Jay.
tight.
Yeah.
If you have
got-
to ask, you can't afford
Yeah,
it.
we got to. Yeah,
I was
This is
really
ZJ.
wondering where he was going with the eagle.
but in the same type of being reincarnated, I want to fly. I want to have all that.
I thought you were gonna
freedom.
say like you wanted to be like a bluegill that got picked up by
No,
the
no,
eagle or
no.
$1
something.
to see it.
Oh my God.
$2
Same-
to touch it.
Same realm.
$3 to touch me while I touch yours. $5 for a
fucking love Beer
VJ.
Fest.
$10 for a
Got ass.
ZJ. That's a ZJ.
You can't afford it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go blue jay. I like blue jays. They're beautiful birds.
They're annoying as fuck though.
Yeah, but who gives a fuck, dude? We got a couple bird feeders at the house, and we have cardinals. We have all kinds of things. And
Cardinals
blue
are
jays.
cool.
We have orioles that come through, and blue jay comes through now and tears up the fucking world.
Cardinals.
Yeah,
We
they
got
do.
this really big fucking woodpecker too. I love it. He
I got a
comes
big
in.
woodpecker.
You know,
also.
here's a question. A lot of baseball teams are named after birds, right? Or animals in general. Why the fuck woodpecker's so cool? Why didn't they name somebody like the fucking Los Angeles Woodpeckers or something?
Because then it
You know
why.
You know why.
You know why.
The Los
Call
Angeles
them
Packers.
Just like the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, Josh just loves dicks.
Yeah.
He's always talking about it.
It doesn't say Cox unless I say it tastes like Cox. I'm Dewey Cox.
It's raining dicks.
Well, that's going to wrap up our podcast draft for this episode. Make sure you get online. Check out our socials on Facebook. We'll have our flyer. Go ahead and vote for me because I'm the best. And
Someone
these
shut
guys-
this guy up.
These guys
about
try.
being the best. Facebook, wherever we put this up, Twitter, wherever X,
Courtney,
TikTok.
get us
I
a
could
win.
not do it without my fans.
His fandom and his
our,
femdom.
without our fans.
Taylor Swift fans, vote for me.
Can't do it without our fans.
Okay.
If you're a Swiftie, you'll vote for
I'm
me.
going to talk shit until I lose.
I'm a Chiefs fan, so vote for me.
But yeah.
You just lost votes.
Thanks for that's fine. Thanks for they won't see this till after they vote, maybe. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll catch you guys next week, let you know how the Iowa Podcast Awards go. We'll be broadcasting live from the Iowa Podcast Awards on the 15th.
Yep.
We'll get that posted when we get the rights to it. We'll probably post some other cool stuff we see. I imagine we'll be taking lots of video footage, pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to put together a highlight. I think I'm going to put together a highlight video
takes
today.
on Cedar Rapids. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll be out in Kyle's neck of the woods. Are you going to be? You're going to be
won't
working
be
on
there.
it.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Just bring
You
the
don't
kid.
have to be there all day either, man.
You can
No,
bring
I
the
know,
kid.
I'm working on it.
We'll bounce them around.
I got this really cool thing. It's called a Poco. It's like an Offspring Poco AG. It's like a $300 like hiking carrier for your kid. It's really so fucking cool.
That sounds heavy.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
can
we're
hold the
working
kid
on
up. You can hold the kid up into it
Sounds
till it's
heavy.
45 pounds.
Do I? You know what?
Sounds heavy. Sounds heavy.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. You guys got any final words or comments to say?
No, I'm good. Let's get out of here.
You all right?
Nobody said blue
Kyle
balls
and I are getting in a
on
fight.
our
Oh,
deal.
blue balls.
Nobody
well,
said
nobody
blue balls
fucking
on our
wants
draft.
it.
Yeah, because that's
So-
a bad thing. Nobody wants
Yeah,
blue
we say
balls.
good or bad though.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't. Think
Police
I want
lights
those.
sometimes
for another bad
sometimes
thing.
hurting feels good.
Cherries and berries.
Never.
Let's you know
Sometimes you
you're
gotta
alive.
hurt so bad to make it feel so good.
Oh,
Alrighty.
jeez. And on that note,
Good night, folks.
enjoy the rest of your week and happy boo balls.
Good night. Love you guys.